Cool. Hans Themistode, FightHype.com, here with Francon Crews-Dezurn. How you doing today?
I'm good. Just chilling. Good day at the gym. I'm good.
All right, cool. It's been a few weeks since your crazy fight with Savannah Marshall. What are kind of like your thoughts on the whole thing?
Well, always, to beat a champ, you got to beat the champ. I'm not going to cry boo-hoo. I'm proud of myself because I dared to be great and I accomplished and made history personally and just period. I was my own promoter for my fight and I took some risk and to lose a majority or get a majority decision when in your hometown with everything is like, mm-mm. But it's done now. I overcame some adversity I had, and I'm here. I'm good.
Do you think that the scorecards were a little funny? One judge had it 95-95, another one had it 99-92. Did you think that was just like a little bit weird?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, two of the judges were more consistent. The United States judge, I think, was 95-95. The Britain judge gave it her one round. I get it. But the other judge, I'm like, what? um, I can only be accountable for myself, and it wasn't my best performance. And people who know me, yeah, I have an unorthodox style, but I usually dominate,
Mhm.
and it just wasn't my best performance.
Gotcha. I mean, in the first few rounds, it did seem like you were doing just that. What would you say kind of went wrong towards like the tail end? Was it just like an endurance thing? Maybe it was something that Marshall was doing.
No, no, I honestly, I was in the best shape. As you could see, like honestly, I was on weight by Wednesday because in the UK you have to do a 5% or 3% weight check-in.
Mhm.
I was perfect. Condition. I worked really hard. That's why for me, not gonna say it's hard to take. It's just wasn't in my vision because I really put in work. I didn't have my coaches there also. No excuse.
Mhm.
My coaches weren't there. For any elite athlete, you still need that. And
Yeah,
I do have great coaches. It's just I kind of lost focus, and it's a lot to take on. You're there against a favorite in a whole nother country, which I could handle. I just lost focus.
gotcha. I, would you consider Savannah the best person you fought? I mean, obviously you fought Clarissa. You got the knockdown on her debut, but it's not close.
No, no. If I would have continued to do what I was doing in the first couple rounds, honestly, if I just would have calmed the fuck down and as you can see, like people, I'm just grateful. A lot of people haven't bashed me. Of course, I always got people who have a problem with the way I fight, but for that to be the standard and oh, she's a knockout artist, she barely won a fight or barely got a decision. Not hating because the UK was cool. Her team, even though it got a little ugly at the press conferences and the build up, were respectful. Uh, but I took away the uppercut she wanted to do. And I got headbutt in the first round. That's why my nose was leaking. But, a lot of the stuff that she's famous for doing, I took it away, took her best shot, and it was a good fight. Like it's another against a former world champion, a former elite amateur standout. So it should be competitive, but she wasn't the best fight I ever fought. No.
How's that power? A lot of people talk about her power. Like, is it as crazy or as everybody says?
I fought a steroid chief for 10 rounds. So and the difference, she for an average woman, she can punch. Um, but for me, I can dish and I could take it because I consider myself a pretty hard puncher. I spar with men a lot. I took her best shot. It
Hmm.
was good. It was good. Like it's a good fight. She could punch, and the gloves we had on were pretty small too. But yeah,
There's obviously a whole lot of beef still between her and Clarissa. Clarissa went up there, she was talking her talk. Like Clarissa did beat her pretty clearly. It was still kind of a close fight, that first fight. Do you think that Savannah has gotten better to the point where she can really actually, is she
No.
on that level? No?
And I don't want to sound like better Betty. I mean, a bitter Betty, you know?
Mhm.
Just when I had my good moments, the good moments were there. When I was jabbing, it touched her. Going to the right. I took away a lot of her go-tos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What she did to me was basically stay really low. Like they were training for my overhand. That's why it just always missed when I would throw. So for her to be so tall, you would expect for her to fight taller.
Yeah.
They're to fight really small, try to stay low so they can miss and start the body, then come up with the hook and throw. Um, I mean, I don't know. If she fight the way she fought me against Clarissa, I don't know.
Hmm. And in terms of like your own career, like what you kind of see is like the pathway to like getting back to like another world title shot. Like, do you see yourself fighting a Shadeja Green? She's been talking a lot. She's a heavy hitter. I know you're never backing down from anyone. Is that somebody you're eyeing? Like, okay, let's get it in there.
Well, I'm not eyeing anyone. And I mean, if it's for the right situation, of course, like that was the plan. Cause I knew once I win, that would be my next fight. Sure. I mean, I have no problem. I'm a humble queen. I know what it takes to get at the top. I can lose it all and get it right back. If I have to go through her to get back where I want to be, it's no problem. People gotta understand those pretty belts sitting in my house do not pay my mortgage. They do not put food on my table. Um, and I took a risk to go to a whole nother country and stake my claim and make a statement, which I did. I had a charting song. The people love me for my ambition. So I don't feel like I lost in a situation, but I feel like I actually have more options because it's heavy as the head that wears the crown. I'm the longest reigning super middleweight champion in history, and I have options, you know.
For sure. In terms of those options, like I guess I want to say, how much longer do you see yourself doing it? You look perfectly fine physically and in the ring. You're 36. I know you've had, say it again.
Who's 36?
Are you not? Because what I'm reading right here says you're 36. You're not? Okay, so.
That I don't live my life in construct.
Mm.
Some days I feel 86, some days I feel 25. I mean, I even asked my team, do I look old? No, bitch, you looked unfocused. I'm coming from I'm coming to prom. I've seen women who fought. You could look at some of the other undisputed champions or look at some of the other champions. They walking out with black eyes, beat the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I don't take a lot of punishment, even though it looks like it. My
Mhm.
faculties are all in check. And right now I feel like I'm embarking on my prom. I haven't fought, I didn't fight, almost a year and a half. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? I took a good fight and I did what I had to do.
Gotcha, for sure. Well, look, you look great, so trust me, you look great. You don't got to worry about that. But just wanted to know. I mean, you said Shadeja Green is a possibility. Do you see Clarissa Shield as another person that you could end up fighting? I know before the fight again, Clarissa was backing you, and she was just like, nah, I think me and Francon are gonna end up running it back. So, do you still think that's something that can happen?
Oh, of course. Like you gotta understand, me and Clarissa are super competitive, and I will always respect her because she was yelling for me, like me and her against the world. You know what I'm saying? We took a risk going pro with each other in our
Mhm.
first fight, and I asked her. I said, we've been on this intertwined journey for many years. I
Mhm.
That's what I would like before I do decide to give up. Well, not give up, move on to my next stage in my life. I would love to run it back, but I feel like they got to pay us properly.
For sure.
With or without the belts, I'm still that girl.
For sure. Just the last question on yourself, just kind of wanted to know, and maybe you don't know yet, but in terms of like the next thing that you want to do, would you kind of know what that would be? If I'm gonna guess, I'd probably say it might be something like fashion or something like that, Like, is that gonna be like your next career thing?
No, I'm doing everything now. Like who's headlining the show and having a song charting, wearing her own garment that she made and collaborate with couture fashion designers. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think I live in this different space. But of course, on the boxing side, out the ring, I do some work. I have one of the best managers in the game, Peter Kahn. We have some other options we want to explore outside the ring with boxing, possibly passing on some of my knowledge to some young up and coming fighters. As you can see, people like Errol Spence, Jermell Herring, some of these fighters are transitioning to the management positions. That's always an option, you know? But the world is my oyster. Whatever I want to do, I'm going to try.
For sure. Now, I can't let you go without getting at least two fight predictions out of you. I know Errol's your boy, but that brother got a hell of a fight on his hands in the next few weeks against Terrence Crawford. Could you break that down and tell us, what do you kind of think how it's going to play out?
Yeah, I'm cool with both of them. Terrence and I go back to the amateur just like Earl and I. And it's basically whoever sticks to their plan. You got a man who cheated death, who defeated death. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell them nothing, just like me. Win, lose, or draw. I went 10 rounds with a steroid cheat and did my thing. So I have no fear when I walk in the ring. I have nervousness, excitement, but no fear. You have Terrence Crawford, who's basically walked it how he talk it. And that's just hard for me. If whoever sticks to their plan, if Terrence Crawford starts out fast, he could probably, do what he has to do. But Errol Spence is like a locomotive. Once he gets going, he gets going. He breaks shit.
Yeah, that's a fact. So I'm not gonna ask you for like a prediction because, like you said, you're cool with them. So I don't want
Listen,
to.
no, if you two melanated kings getting paid, headline, living their dream, I'm
For sure. You already know. For sure. So yeah, so okay, before I let you go, then would love to actually know, Canelo kind of shocked everybody. He's fighting the smaller Charlo at 54. Charlo's moving up to 68. How do you see that playing out? Do you think Canelo just gonna be a little bit too big, or do you think Charlo has enough to, win a decision or stop him?
well, I feel like it's a different pace at smaller weight classes.
Mhm.
And I saw how Canelo kind of his punch count goes down. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? He relies on like that power and breaking you down. But if you have somebody who got power and they got good punch output, who knows? Charlo will be in a better position because he's a naturally big guy and he has to cut weight to make his weight class. So I think he'll be more comfortable. And Canelo's been up and down, up and down. So I feel like Charlo has a good chance. You know
Would
what
you
I'm saying?
Would you lean towards him to pick up the win though? Like if you had to put your money down on somebody, would it be on Charlo, or you just think it's two weight classes? That's asking a little too much.
Um, scared money don't make money. So yeah, I'm gonna bet on Charlo.
Shit, that's the perfect way to end the interview right there. I love it. Really appreciate you taking your time, and hopefully we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Bye.
Talk to you.